2026 marks 30 years of Pokemon since its release of Pokemon Red and Pokemon Green in Japan. And while Pokemon Red and Pokemon Blue wouldn't make it to North America for another 2 years, I thought this would be an excellent opportunity to do a retrospective on my Gen 1 experience. My name is Joey, sometimes I play games, and this is my Pokemon Red Blue retrospect. Enjoy! So let's take things back like a spine. It's my 7th birthday, and I just received a monumental gift. A Game Boy Color with a copy of Pokemon Red. Now, it's a school night, but best believe I'm going to spend many hours playing this game. Up to this point, my exposure to Pokemon was by way of the anime and trading cards. Now I will finally get to play a real Pokemon adventure. I start up the game to see an epic battle underway between Spiky Ghost Backman and Spiky Horn Rabbit Dog. And thus, the start screen. I care little for the carousel of Pokemon sprites at play. I'm trying to play, and thus am prompted to select new game. Then continue isn't there. I recognize this young fella, Professor Oak, who people call the Pokemon Prof, who welcomes me to the world of Pokemon. He allows me to introduce myself. My name is Joe, J to the O-E. Yeah, I actually really didn't go by Joey until young adulthood, believe it or not. Fun fact, put that on the wiki. He then introduces me to his grandson, who we've been rivals with since we were baby. He can't remember his name, but gives me a few options as to what his name could be. Okay, appreciate that. But since I'm such a funny child, I do the smart thing and name him Bert. My adventure is about to unfold, and I do unfold into what is my in-game bedroom. I think I was playing in my real-life bedroom too. Whoa! The music oozes peace and comfort and will be ingrained in my brain for years to come. The music will be a common element I praise throughout this video. I say bye to Mother. Actually, I don't say anything at all. I look for the Pokemon Prof, who isn't in his lab, but his bud of a grandson is. Say, this tall grass to the north is inviting, and it's my only unexhausted option to leave this town, to which... Hey, it's the Pokemon Prof! Pulling a Save Me Mario, warning me of the dangerous Pokemon that may jump at me in the tall grass, and I need my own Pokemon for protection. Although I like to think my fist could handle level 2 Rattata and Pidgey. He escorts me to the lab for what was the biggest decision in my childhood up to that point. What will be my starting Pokemon? I picked Squirtle because I liked Squirtle in the anime and I just thought he was cool. Well, Butt pulls a hole of the move by picking Bulbasaur, not because he likes Bulbasaur, but because he's programmed to pick the starter super effective towards mine. I mean, I guess that's preferred to him shoving us in yellow version. The adventure was going to begin until Butt wipes away that opportunity by challenging me to an unboxing fight. That's what I wrote? Unboxing fight? I tackle until Bulbasaur faints because I thought that Tail Whip didn't do anything because it didn't inflict damage. And Butt thinks he chose the wrong Pokemon, which he did. Sorry. He says smell you later. I'm curious, what does he say in the Japanese versions? Do the Japanese imply they'll see each other later by smelling them later? Also, does it imply that you have body odor? I showered many times. Route 1 is Route Fun. Why was that not programmed into the game? Should have been on the posting. The music tells me, hey, don't sweat this, you're only going to be here about 30 seconds. Enjoy the free EXP against low-level pigeons and rats. Also, golden marketing tip to you young entrepreneurs out there. When giving out free samples of your nearby market's product, make sure it's a product that you actually have in stock. It's not long before we're at Viridian City, the eternally green paradise. Look at that beautiful shade of green. Feel free to explore the Pokemon universe's open door policy when it comes to entering all residential and commercial properties, like this Pokemon schoolhouse. By the way, when I first saw the back sprite of this generic young lady NPC, I thought it was a toilet. There's the first gym, just an unpassable ledge stands between me and, well, the gym. Pardon me, young lady and old gentleman. Oh, okay, I can't go through here. Maybe if I try a second time. Oh, no, I can't. Okay, better explore nearby areas. Since I can't go up, let me go left. Certainly there's more to explore over here. Oh, just some grass, some birds, some rats, some rabbits, and a huge building that basically I'm told to leave right away. Now, with no strategy guide, no access to the internet, and no access to a friend who also has played the game. I mean, no access to a friend. I was stuck doing nothing but beating low-level Pokemon. Fortunately, I still found a ton of fun in doing that. I mean, it got to the point, and I'm not kidding, it got to the point that Squirtle evolved into Wartortle. Why won't you move, old man? Why are you saying that this is private property? Why are you horizontal? Why are you being a butt? Why is this tree in my way from getting around you? I was stuck on this part the entire night I cracked open the game. Yes, I was stuck on the tutorial on night 1. You see, we're mistaken as an errand boy when stepping into Viridian's mart. I think I was just mashing A as a young child, so I missed out on the text box request of the shopkeep to take this package to Oak. And that just leads me to more questions. How did the shopkeep know that I came from Palatown upon the moment I entered? Why was this parcel not addressed to go to Samuel Oak directly? What proper business operator is trusting their customer's order to some random kid? I think when I first played this, I only went back to Oak to show him the fact that I had a flippin' Wartortle before I had a badge. And I suppose up to that point, the only games I really played were Mario platformer games. And I was applying the logic that you move forward, you didn't move backward. So that's why it didn't come to my mind that, oh hey, maybe you need to go backwards for once. But then and only then did it trigger the exchange of goods where we received the Pokédex, the machine that's half Pokemon, half Dex, to live out an old boomer's dream of catching all 151 Pokemon. And I know that's peanuts compared to what is it now, 5 million? But it still felt like a lot back then as a child. But it seems now with Pokemon on belt and Pokédex in pocket, our adventure can finally begin. But informs me his sister will give him a town map and then he'll tell her not to give us one, which is totally code for go to his sister and get that town map. Well, returning to Viridian City gets us a couple treats. We finally get to buy stuff. We get to be shoved by a locked gym door apparently, and that's a result of this butt clown deciding to get up and move out of the way. So did he have a direct line with Oak? He doesn't even apologize in red and blue. Instead, he makes it up to us by showing us how to catch a Pokemon. I despise this man. I know there's been weirder and worse roadblocks, some will come up in this video, but childhood me thinks this man needs to be sentenced to life with no possibility of parole for his actions. And you know what? Make that a double life sentence. I want his corpse to serve a life sentence. I'm laughing at my own script. Come on, Joey. Route 2 is the sequel to Route 1, so if you didn't see the first one, you're not gonna get it. Right, really? Lovely, more trees that prevent me from getting to that object over there. Or they bushes. Beehole bushes. What's that? You want more Pidgey and Rattata? Have at it! Brings us to Viridian Forest, which is so serious that it needs an entrance gate, and the music takes it up a few notches. The music says, yes, your tutorial is done, player. Get ready to be tackled, and poison stung, and hardened. Oh, and if you get poisoned, have fun doing the blinking walk of shame back to the Pokemon Center, because your scarcity mindset prevented you from buying antidotes. At least they have antidotes, unlike potions. Oh, no, trainers and battles? Oh, that's okay. Get creamed by my over-leveled Startermon, and tremble in fear from this purple rabbit I caught. You bug catchers are no match for my determination to trek through this never-ending forest. Oh wait, this is the exit. Pewter City. More like Pewter City. Don't leave that in. Please don't leave that in, Joey. Pewter City, a stone gray city. There's people to talk to, that's cool. They seem friendly enough. Nobody minds you entering their establishments. Heck, if they didn't want visitors, they shouldn't have installed doors. This chap over here is eager to show me to the crown jewel of the city, the Pewter Museum. Behold the glory of all 2 of its rooms. Hey, how'd you get the Columbia in here? Hey, this front door is cool, but you know what's even cooler? This door over here. Oh, yes, it's about time one of these gyms were unlocked. And it seems like Bud is ahead of the game. Clearly, he's teleporting from town to town. This strange man over here wants to take us to the top. That's encouraging. But first, we must face this pipsqueak who says we are light years from facing Brock. Hi, Junior Trainer. Please get crushed. Hi, Brock and Roll. I'm ready for my first badge. Get crushed! Get destroyed! Brock was easy juice unless you pick Charmander or if you pick Pikachu in yellow. We've done it! All those Pidgey and Rattata paid off, and now we have a badge. We get a congratulatory speech and a congratulatory TM. A technical machine that teaches our Pokemon moves. You can only use it once. Lame. So you gotta make it count, and it better be good if it's coming from a gym leader. It's Bide. It's 4 letters. You know what else has 4 letters? Butt, poop, and buns. All accurate descriptions of Bide. You just stand there, menacingly, absorbing damage, and after 2 to 3 turns, returning it in double. It just gives the opponent ample opportunity to stat buff or just knock you out while you be a passive patty. It's not even a rock move. Wait, you're not coming with us, Brock? I remember being a little confused about that as a kid, that Brock wouldn't come along with us like he does in the anime with Ash. Route 3 is for you and me. They should have come up with cute little things like that for the routes. Hey, you're not in Kansas anymore. Here's 8 trainers, come and get them. I remember this music when it came to me. Alright, you got a badge, but the tutorial's really over. You know how to beat worms, birds, and rats? And yet, all you do is continue to battle rats, birds, and worms. Oh my goodness, I remember how annoying the sleep animation and sound was when your Pokemon was asleep. And Generation 1 sleep took forever because you didn't attack on the turn you woke up. The Mount Moon Pokemon Center was tremendously convenient, but also at the same time a little concerning, like why do I need another Pokemon Center? I just left the town. This isn't a town, this is a mount. I think this sprite is supposed to be the newspaper that the man's reading, but it looks like he's reading a medical chart. Oh, and disregard this man. He takes great pleasure in scalping children. An NPC in Pewter does warn you, but younger me thought, reading? I'll do that when I'm old. I'll do that when I'm 33. Or 34, depending on when this video came out. Yeah, it was disappointing to know that all Magikarp could do was splash. And I had no idea that it would grow up to Gyarados. I went back to him just to ask for some guidance. Instead, he tells me, no refunds for the 500 Poké Dollars. Thanks. I hope you stub your toes at night. It's time to go into Mount Moon. I never cared for the cave music. I'm not sure why. It was unsettling, which I guess it was supposed to be. It wasn't a bop like everything else I heard so far. Also, I'm now learning the wonders of wild encounters can happen at any time in these caves. Forget limiting to tall grass, how about every step you take? Boy, this place felt humongous, and I remember having to take many trips back to that Pokemon Center, and it makes sense now why it's here. It's now that we come across the mysterious men in black. Team Rocket! The Pokemon OGs, as it were, whose uniforms consist of black shirt, black pants, and black mushroom hats? Oh, and whips for some reason. A level 11 Zubat. Oh, hell, that's gangsta. I'm only 1 badge in here, and I'm attempting to thwart a big operation by a seemingly major crime syndicate. In fact, where are the cops? People in Pewter were aware that Team Rocket is up to no good, but where are they at, though? Nice to find a Moonstone is here. And nice to know it's compatible with that rabbit dinosaur dog that I caught. And now I get King Rabbit Dinosaur Dog. Alright, let's go crush the nation. By the way, I used to think the move Rock Slide would allow me to slide down these particular rocks here and let me find more treasure. That was disappointing. It's come that time where we come across this NPC with what appears to be 2 ears sitting on the ground. Despite not inquiring about them, he says I can have one of those ears if I battle him in a fight. I win! And I win one of the fossils. They're fossils, okay? And I think I picked Dome originally because I don't know if it was the first one. I didn't really care. I just wanted to get out of the cave. Leaving Mount Moon rewards you with a walk on Route 4. You'll want more. No, you won't. Crazy to think that only a few tiles of mountain wall separated you between the entrance and the exit to the cave. There are no trainers nearby, so feel free to rip those built-up cave farts. But little did we know at the time that we are about to take the biggest leap of our lives. Bigger than James Bond's leap in GoldenEye. Or a leap across a slightly large puddle on the sidewalk. It's the leap over this ledge. You sure you want to do it? You want to try again?
You want to try again?
Ah, great. Now you've done it. You're trapped. Allow me to explain. Oh, sorry. I was just bopping out to this music. Cerulean City, a mysterious blue aura surrounds it. Look at that mysterious blue. The music, it's something about that first 3 seconds that's straight fire! Dun-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Which is ironic given that the city's gym leader is, a girl! Nah, I was gonna say it's a water type leader. It's an inside joke on the channel. And yeah, I guess all the cool gym leaders just run with 2 Pokemon, huh? I remember the mistake I made after winning and earning the TM for Bubble Beam, just to instantly teach it to Wartortle, because after all, she does say, teach it to an aquatic Pokemon. Actually, I don't even remember the first time battling her. I think I just overpowered with Wartortle's tackle and stuff. Anyway, at the time, I didn't know how versatile Bubble Beam was and how useless it would be for Wartortle later. TMs in general were so stingy. I mean, you could only use it once, and in the case for a vast majority of them, you never got them again. I remember that made me so angry in Pokemon Stadium where opponents had multiple Pokemon using Bubble Beam or Thunderbolt thinking, hey, where'd you get those extra TMs? Were you giving Misty extra smooches or something? Or cleaning her pool? Yeah, you're cleaning her pool, alright, I know what you did. Let's take in the rest of the city. After all, we are trapped. Thanks to ledges being one way. These tax-dodging beehole bushes that keep popping up. This police that's just blocking this door. You could try running him over with a bike from the shop, but yeah, you can't afford it. Oh yeah, and there's water we cannot swim in. The only way is to go up. I guess being under the age of 10 when Pokemon came out makes me a Pokemon boomer. Because I remember when your rival jump scared you and didn't heal you up or give you an opportunity to prep your party or nothing. Well, he's been out catching Pokemon and has a bit of a team here, but we've thwarted him. Bud is gone, yay! But apparently 5 trainers who have nothing else to do have gathered together to become the Nugget Bridge Challenge Bridge Trainers. Beat them and get a nugget of gold. Dang, why can't I just rematch you? Just keep getting crushed and get nuggets? Even if they were chicken nuggets, oh, especially if they were chicken nuggets. So this last guy, who's really trainer number 6, is actually one of those stinky Rocket men who says I could be a top leader in Team Rocket. Because what? Because I carry Pokemon that aren't Ekans and Zubat? In fact, I thought that after that interaction, my sprite was going to change to a Team Rocket sprite, and I spent the rest of the game as a Rocket. Nothing to the left, so we go to the right. Another gauntlet of trainers. Not gonna lie, it's just a teensy little bit eerie just seeing their soulless sprites standing there, devoting their whole existence to a lone battle with you, along with some possibly humorous dialogue. Hey, what do you see? It's the cottage, the sea cottage. I never knew this was actually a geopoint in the town map, and that's not Bill, that's a Pokemon. Now, wasn't Butt just here, so that quickly he messed up this experiment, and boy, an experiment of this nature, you think he wants some sort of assistant on hand in case something like this happens. We save me Mario Bill, and we are rewarded with tickets to the SS Anne. Remember how he kept being told about his awesome extensive Pokemon collection? Dude, it's just the entries for the Eevee line. Relax. I mean, I guess that is nearly a whopping 3% of the Kanto Pokedex right there. Well, let's go to the SS Anne. And apparently setting off Bill's machine sent a wave pulse to the cop that was blocking the door because now he stepped aside. You really gotta love the infrastructure of this town. Exit to the left is blocked by a one-way ledge. Exits to the right and the bottom are blocked by these beehole bushes, a cop man, and come to find out, a burglarized residence with a hole in the back wall. Why is no one stopping me from walking through here? And hey, you're a bad guy. Get crushed by my 2-badge winning team. And am I the only one who thought Drowsy had chocolate pants? I'll take that item you stole. Oh, the victim doesn't even want it back. Did you guys know Dig was base 100 power in Gen 1? Of course you do, it's 2026. There are plenty of other Gen 1 Pokemon videos out there. But this one is cool because, you know, bouncy cat head, meow. Route 5, Route 5. Route 5 is so mid. I never really understood what these paths here are supposed to be. Like, to me, they look like slides. I guess they're just trail paths. This mundane looking house here is to incentivize you to go to the top of the route, jump the ledges, and enter to what I can only describe as the lamest dude and the lamest house in the game, the daycare man. I just always kind of thought he sucked, and I still do. He'll watch your Pokemon, and in exchange for money, will raise its experience and levels while you're gone. I never knew how the mechanics work. Did it work by in-game time or number of steps you've taken? You tell me. But I guess I always thought he sucked because imagine if this were a daycare for human babies instead of Pokemon. There's no toys, no snacks, no coloring books, and the daycare man himself just looks like a load of fun with his gentleman sprite and his hat and his mustache. That cane and briefcase really give I am excellent in the realms of child development. Okay, bye-bye. Hey, that looks like a fun place to go. Oh, the road is closed. No further explanation needed. I guess we can go into this hut. The underground tunnel. The combined fun of... I'm just laughing from my own script. The underground tunnel. The combined fun of being both underground and in a tunnel. Like, was this just made because the developers didn't want you to go to Saffron City this early? But the map was already planned, so they just thought, the kids will totally dig this. And spoiler alert, we get to go into another one of these later, except it's horizontal. Route 6, pick up sticks. I kind of see that this is like a courtesy route. We didn't give you trainers on Route 5, so enjoy these couple bud catchers and junior trainer couples. I was always fascinated by this pond. It's really the crown jewel of this route. Ooh, what's this refreshing bop? Why, it's the music of Vermilion City, the port of exquisite sunsets. My word, that's magical. How is that not a novel? The port of exquisite sunsets. Oh yeah, I remember as a kid, this guy asked me if I enjoyed fishing. I answered no, and that was the end of our conversation. Ooh, a Pokemon fan club. Certainly I must be a member. Oh, it's just two people and their Pokemon sitting in a boardroom. I never really took the time to appreciate the sock puppet posters they had in here. There's a few other open door policy homes here, all of which apparently are single floor and free of bedrooms, bathrooms, and kitchens. They must shop at Bedless, Bathless, and Within, am I right? And I guess what I failed to appreciate as a kid is how much of an effort the developers went to try and make Team Rocket seem like this serious crime organization. I mean, in the anime, Jesse and James were kind of incompetent, and their plans always foiled, and they were buffoons. More of an inconvenience than a real threat. But you can totally stand over this young boy and read this letter that he's drafted to his shoddy Pee-Pee. Pee-Pee or Pippi, whatever. Who expresses his concern that Saffron is being taken over by rockets and that Vermilion is safe. Listen, she don't want to be saved, Eli, or whatever your name is. That might be another video I do one day, questioning like the logic and overall infrastructure of the Pokemon universe. Anyway, gotta finish this one first, but not before getting ducks. It's a shame that the in-game trade Pokemon are nicknamed because I thought that little apostrophe in Farfetch was the coolest thing ever. Like, that was like peak. We weren't going to get better than that in Pokemon. Okay. We came here for the SSN. Show the beefy sailor our ticket and enter. This track is easily the most fire in the game. Junichi Masuda? Is that how you say it? Masuda? This is the OG Masuda method right here. Here is where someone finally calls us out on just walking in like we own the place. Hey, you're not the Thai masseuse I ordered! Playing this part now honestly really bores me. I actually kind of feel claustrophobic, and this isn't even a real cruise ship. And my rival is obviously my #1 fan because he just keeps showing up. I guess the Nepo baby just had a ticket and he claims to have 40 Pokemon. Cap! I call Cap. I mean, I remember making an effort to catch what I saw. I don't recall even having half of that at this point in the game. I was always more into the combat than the gotta catch 'em alling. Anyways, you stink butt. Reaching the end of this boat rewards you with the opportunity to rub the back of a man much older than you who recently made throw up in a waste bin. I remember this one time I was in school in the nurse's office and I walked by someone's brand new throw up in a waste bin, and I'll let you in on a little secret, it was disgusting. Gently massaging the much older gentleman gets you the HM01 cut, which is great for cutting down those beehole bushes we keep running into. But in terms of being an attack, it's butt juice. Don't teach it to a Pokemon you love. I love how they just wait for you to dip and leave the moment you step off. Like, dang it, I like to know where they were going. I have a ticket after all. Now that we're finished with that, we can make a right out of the port. Does that bother anyone that I didn't go left? You can be honest. Diglett's Cave, home of Diglett and Dugtrio. I remember once catching a high-level Dugtrio which spawned at a 5% rate. An absolute layup for the next gym we're about to face. Thanks for that, Game Freak. And no, would you look at that? We're back near Pewter. Turns out we can see home again. Well, once again, I applied Mario platformer logic here and thought, I've already been here. Time to go back to Vermilion. But first, there appears to be another route to check over here. And I suppose it couldn't hurt to beef up the team a little bit before facing our next gym. And this whole route is just a big duck tease. I think its sole purpose is, "Jeez, kid, you still need EXP after that bridge and that boat? Okay, fine." Because even when you knocked out the degenerate gamblers and electricians, you get to go through this guardhouse to see the next potential leg on your adventure, only to be stopped by your mom. Alright, now let's whack away the beehole bush and enter the gym. The first gym we come across that involves a puzzle, and Lieutenant Surge's puzzle is garbage. How do you feel about gym puzzles? I guess from a gaming standpoint it's fun, but dude, come on, it's not enough that I can't just request a challenge. I have to sift through garbage to find secret switches in 2 consecutive cans, and if I select the second wrong one, it resets. What are you doing back there? Yeah, I think the first time I played this, I just crushed this guy with the duck trio that I caught nearby. I guess the idea of gym leaders being element-based was to help teach the young people the basics of the game and type matchups. It really is an underwhelming matchup, unless you're just running a whole roster of Pidgey. Thunder Badge, the privilege to use Fly, and the TM of Gen 1's coolest sounding animations, Thunderbolt. Back north to the beehole bush that prevented us from exiting to the east or to the right of Cerulean City. Another gauntlet of trainers await, like they were put on this earth solely for one and only one battle against you. I realize now that this was Nintendo's way of stretching the game out, placing in roadblocks, making you backtrack the previous areas you explored to make it seem like you've got more game. Oh boy, another Pokemon Center outside a cave. That can only spell fun. Let's go in and... Hello? I'm sorry? Wow, it's dark, ain't it? Fortunately, it seems as though these squiggly lines provide some sort of orientation. They're fixed as I attempt to move, but sure, this is no way to... Okay, there's trainers here, just chilling in the dark. Alright, Pokemon, it's getting serious out here. Now we're just navigating through dark tunnels. This, as a kid, was tough. I'm pretty sure I blacked out multiple times. I mean, this was Kaizo before Kaizo was invented. Now, the footage on screen I recorded just a few days prior to recording this voiceover, so I'm navigating this from muscle memory. But first time around, you really needed to explore every single tile, wondering if you missed a ladder to go up or go down, and ideally get out on the other side of the cave.
Oh, and don't forget all the trainers that you have to face.
And when I did, my goodness, I was so fast to save. Remember fearing that those AA's were dying and you didn't save? Yeah, oh my gosh, here's hoping I never have to go in there again and deal with that. Rock Tunnel, more like Suck Funnel, because it just sucks the fun all out of you. Okay, I obviously know by now what the game was hoping you'd do, which is pique your curiosity when you came out of the pewter-sided Diglett Cave, cut away the beehole bushes, and explore the area that you were restricted from earlier. In addition, they're hoping that you talk to every NPC, some who may have left you context clues about illuminating dark caves and moves that can teach Pokemon that can be used outside of battle. They hope that you have regularly checked your Oak Pokedex report on the PC, and that you would find this aid in the cottage on Route 2 for the HM Flash, an HM that illuminates dark caves. In battle, it just drops accuracy, so it's an undeletable smokescreen. This is the only cave you'd ever have to use Flash for. It's Flash with a second S. Lavender Town? More like Lavender Frown, because a lot of that happens here. While on one hand I'm relieved to see a Pokemon Center, heck, I'm relieved to be able to see, full stop. I can't help but be bothered by the music that just gives dying and sad, like a punishment for advancing in the game. Thanks, Masuda. It must be unfortunate to be an NPC here listening to it all the time, your whole life. The Noble Purple Town? This guy literally calls it the grave site for Pokemon! Hopefully one of these houses has calming music. Ah, that's better. This is the Name Raider, and it wasn't until talking to him that I actually considered nicknaming my Pokemon. Considering that, I mean, in the anime, the Pokemon themselves just refer to themselves by their name. I seem to recall naming now Blastoise Mike of all things. Mike. Just Mike. But if you got a traded Pokemon, you can't re-nickname. So names like Ducks and Marcel and Boogers, not only can they not be changed, but the Name Reader says they're fantastic. Side note, one year I got Pokemon Stadium for Christmas, and I'm pretty sure my parents got me a pre-owned console and copy of the game, like a bundle. And I guess the previous owner had a troubled childhood because there were some registered mons on there with names that were just straight up profanity. I guess those Pokemon were cursed. Okay, so we've already established we're in the section of the game where Pokemon have been killed. Not eliminated, not knocked out, killed. Wonderful. Rated E for the second letter in dead. Well, there's no gym, but instead a big old tower, and it's the Pokemon Tower, where graves of dead Pokemon scan across multiple floors. How does that work? We just bury Pokemon in the floorboard? That can't be good for the, mold? Or insurance? Something.
Oh, what's the matter, Butt? Did your girlfriend leave you?
With a name like that, I bet she did. Could you imagine saying,
I love you, Butt Oak,
with the most serious face? Of course you couldn't. Surprise, surprise, he wants another battle, that's refreshing. And he doesn't learn his lesson. Now, what exactly are you doing here, Butt? Some speculate that his Raticate died because, where'd at though? Maybe it was hot buns and he deposited into the BC, I don't know. I just like to progress in the story. Knowing this Nepo baby, he probably had a hover car or got the HM for Fly early to get here and didn't have to wander in the dark like us peasants. Ooh, a wild encounter. I wonder what this will be. Oh, cool. Ghost. A little uncreative on the name, but I guess we've seen dips in the creativity from time to time. It's okay. No worries. Let's knock this puppy out. Oh, you're scared. You're scared? You're a Blastoise, Mike, and you're scared? Are you kidding me? Okay. Run away. Well, I'm following the rules of towers in Pokemon games. Keep climbing to the top and claim your prize. Here's the next staircase. By the way, that healing pad was cool. Oh, great, another ghost. Come on, Mike. Come on, Mike! Okay, this isn't just a random encounter. It's blocking the stairs. Sounds like a roadblock. Well, I'm kind of stumped. What do I do now? Sure, I can go down from the big L, but my little brain didn't connect the dots at the time that your mom is blocking the way. So I guess we'll go left. I remember feeling so frustrated at this point of the game. We spent all that time in Dark Rock Tunnel. We can't seem to get past a certain point in the tower. Your mom is once again causing problems for everyone, but at least there's plenty of thrilling battles, and I love battles. But why in the world are these guards just not letting us through? The road is closed. Multiple road entry points are closed, you're telling me? What if this town needed to be evacuated? This is really irresponsible.
Hey, our town is kind of going through some stuff right now. Would you mind going underground again?
And how come the two of these didn't cross? It's funny how this little patch outside of Celadon here is a route. I've kind of always known it as Dog Route because I believe you get your version exclusive Fire Dog out here. Yo, why is Celadon City poppin' right now? Because it always is. It's the city of rainbow dreams. I think anytime I do a replay of this and I reach Celadon, I always get a little boost of energy. Whether it's the town's music, the several options of buildings to explore. There's just a free Eevee hanging out here for you to take. There's a massive department store, and I just only wish I knew what anything that they were selling me was at the time. There were no descriptions in the game of anything. Gotta love the fourth wall breaking with the game developers being here. And I love that those same developers barely try to hide that this hotel is just a re-cosmetic Pokemon Center. Joey, is that even a word? Come on, you saw that there's a red squiggly underneath it in the script and you just left it in here. You left it in the video too, didn't you? Everyone is talking about the game corner and how you shouldn't touch the poster that's at it. Well, that's exactly what I do. A young child enters a casino without a guardian, beats the rocket that's glazing the poster over here, and by the rules of Pokemon, he must go away, which gives me ample opportunity to press the big shiny button. If you press a secret switch hidden behind a poster inside a casino and a dark sketchy looking stairway appears, proceed down it without hesitation. and continue to proceed when you hear an unsettling background track. Most people might run away at the thought of this, but I'm trying to get the 8 badges here. You might be content with your 3, but I'm trying to win a big, juicy Pokemon pizza. So with no rhyme or reason, we're just kind of expected, hey, go throughout this sketchy underground layer and find the prize that awaits you. I hope you weren't planning on doing that fast because we have the ultimate booby trap, track pads. Step on it. Be spun out of your control in the direction of the triangles until you hit a stopping pad or another track pad. It's all the kids are talking about these days. Not only that, but you need a key to operate the elevator. Oh, sorry, lift. Let's be real, they called it that because of text limitations, right? What's next? They're going to measure something using metric system? Well, don't worry. Incompetent henchmen are about with their mid-teams and inexplicable manner of assisting you upon defeat. Just make sure you speak to NPCs after you defeat them. I've had to really be disciplined writing this. Hindsight is 20/26/7, but at the time with no guide or anything, a lot of things were discovered by chance, and getting the lift key from this NPC after defeating him is one of them. He just drops it. It just appears next to him like he laid an egg and made zero effort of a scramble to pick it back up. Oh, that was clever, Joey. I didn't even catch that when you wrote that the first time. Nice job. Pat yourself in the back right now. And here, you're about to enter the big bad boss's room, clearly on account of this big door in the way. Simply defeat these 2 goons with their mid-teams and they just open the door for you. Open sesame chicken. I love sesame chicken. Beef lo mein, egg rolls, wonton soup, all that stuff sounds good right now. But yeah, imagine being the boss man, Mr. Widemouth over here. His name is Giovanni. My name's Giovanni. Like, you're just sitting there trying to enjoy mojito or something, and your 1099 contractor goons just let this child waltz in. Remember how weird Pierce Brosnan said mojito and Die Another Day?
Mojito.
So of course we win, and the guy just leaves his office and leaves behind an item ball. The Sylph Scope. Oh, that signpost in Lavender Town was alluding to that. So it was this cheeky item that allows the wild ghost to be converted into wild Pokemon, which I find really interesting because the trainer battle Pokemon in that same tower turned out just fine. Okay. Well, now we should be able to confront that ghost blocking the stairs. A level 30 Marowak that you can't catch. It's the soul of Cubone's mother. You know, the one that Team Rocket killed according to this NPC? Not kill, bro. I mean, not cool, bro. I was really frustrated that I couldn't catch this as a kid. And fun fact, maybe you know, if you buy a Pokédoll at the Celadon department store and use it in battle on the ghost, the item that allows for a clean runaway, the game will act like you defeated the ghost, meaning you could have skipped the entire Rocket hideout chapter. We're about to go up to, I guess this is the roof of the building. This can't be safe to fight some more rockets. Wait 1 second. Rock Slide was one of the most intense attack sounds in the game. Play it. And by defeating some more nameless rockets, we apparently saved Mr. Fuji, who is quick to inform us that his name is not Peach. He came there on his own free will. But he happily escorts us back to his house to inform us that we will only master Pokemon with love, sunshine, and kisses, and gives us the Poke Flute to go take care of your mom. Sorry. Gym leader! You forgot gym leader! Oh, geez, right. Erica. The Celadon gym leader. The ladies only gym. Hey, old man, you can look, but you can't touch. And quite honestly, you shouldn't be looking either. I'm pretty sure there's children in there. I don't know, is Erica just the least memorable of all the Gen 1 gym leaders? I don't remember her ever being that difficult, just surprised at learning for the first time that grass was strong against water and ground. But by this point in the game, you'll likely have some type of fire dog or bird with access to fly, and just make minced grass out of Erica, get a cool TM, and leave before you catch cooties. Unless you got your cootie shot, of course. With this Poke Flute, I can now wake up this big mama. I knew that because of the anime, not so much the game. Boy, I remember this being quite an annoying battle and quite an annoying catch. Oh, cool, I caught it this time! Now that you're out of the way, I'm sure a land of fun and excitement awaits me. Oh my gosh, are you seriously not taking Cycling Road? Who takes routes 13, 14, and 15? Well, I as a child, that's who. So what Sean Hunt is trying to say is that there's 2 ways to get to the next town, Fuchsia City. You can proceed as we're going right now, or go left to Celadon, battle yet another one of your mothers, and then take the accelerated downhill slope of Route 17, aka Cycling Road. That's assuming that you saved up the 1 million Poké-Dollars, or that is assuming you spoke to the fan club chairman in Vermilion, who has a wet and shiny bike voucher for you in exchange for listening to him talk about his Rapidash. I seem to recall not speaking to him the first time I played this, so I just thought you really had to save up for that paint-sniffing bike. And give credit to the developers for taking this into consideration and providing an alternate way to Fuchsia, but this way is so plain flavored yogurt. There's trainers. There's a man who asks if I enjoy fishing. I say no, and that's the end of our conversation. And then there's just chipping away at the various Pidgeys that you run into. I know there have been some videos on how uneventful, unexciting, and unnecessary this route is. You could beat this game without ever coming here. I don't even think there's anything exclusive to catch. I really think you can complete the game competitively and Pokédexly without ever going this direction. And remember, in the mind of a child at single speed, it's a long walk back here if you go back to the Pokemon Center, or Pokemon Center with an E at the end if you speak Canadian. Also, 8 million IQ move I learned as a kid. Hang on to that Poké-Flute and you've got yourself a never-ending awakening in battle. That's that banger track again. And thank you, sweet lord, it's a Pokemon Center. Fuchsia City is like, you want the attractions of Celadon City, but the piece of an art museum. Or how about a zoo? Yes, there's a zoo. A gentleman asks me if I enjoy fishing. I say no, and that's the end of our conversation. The man next door barely speaks any language I know of, and that's the end of our conversation. I love that they give you the options of yes or no. The Safari Zone is all everyone's talking about. If you enjoyed that simplistic Pokemon battle and catching mechanic and thought, no, I'd enjoy something more confusing, this was the place to go. Oh, and you have to pay. And they watch every step you take. Gold teeth, huh? Just laying out here in an item ball. That's disgusting. The jolly NPCs tell me that the HM for Surf is here if I reach the secret house. I think it took me like 2 or 3 tries the first time around. When I finally got the Surf HM, I thought it was big flex nuts because I have Blastoise and I was looking forward to using it outside of battle, but alas, a gym badge is required to do so. Well, let's get that gym badge. This gym is Koga, the Poison Ninja Warrior, and I guess this gym is being memorable for having, I don't know, random tiles in the way that are supposed to be invisible walls. You're expected to use your imagination. We should all try doing that again. But I'd like to use this time to talk about how much of a letdown the Monotype Poison line is in Gen 1. Like, they're cool Pokemon, I want to like them, but competitively they're just hot buns. They were only super effective against grass, in which all but 3 grass Pokemon didn't also share a poison typing, and Psychic was so strong you died before you even threw out the ball. Also, ground moves were present and hit really hard. Thank you, Gen 1 Dig. So I just dug my way out of this jam for one of the OG OPTMs, Toxic. Oh, nice string of 2-letter acronyms there, J-Man. This thing was busted. Nearly any Pokemon that could learn a TM could learn Toxic, which begs the question, is Toxic just Pokemon making throw up on one another? Because that was the conclusion I came to when I saw the animation for it in Pokemon Stadium. Oh, before we leave Fuchsia, let's check in on that funny old man and bring him some tapioca. Oh, okay, cool. Those were his teeth. Sure, you can have them, I guess. How do you lose your teeth? Like, I can understand losing your glasses. Maybe you set them down to take a picture or something to pose in a photograph, and then your vision is obstructed, making it more difficult to find them. But sir, why are you removing your teeth in the Safari Zone? I believe this is another game mechanic that I discovered unintentionally. See, I thought the whole saffron thing, the gates, the guards, the road is closed to people, I thought this whole thing was an event deactivating roadblock. Meaning, you reach a certain point in the story, and then they would let you through. So I figured beating Koga would allow me to enter Saffron, but instead, the guard becomes a total guzzlord and chugs away what is implied to be a beverage that you're carrying. So if you happen to have a drink in your inventory, that's what gets you through. That's the key. He promises to share it with the other guards, and I think I just happened to have extra beverages in my bag the first time I unlocked this because I thought the girl in the Celadon department store would just keep giving you TM so long as you gave her beverages. And I mean real beverages, not the fictitious brand on this channel. Not sure how 4 of you guards are going to tag team that one drink, but have at it, I guess. We've now made it to the mysterious shining land of golden commerce, Saffron City. Yeah, roads look fine to me. I'm sure these townsfolk are happy to hear that they may now freely exit the city after the guards took my liquid. They may not be so happy that there are rockets all over the place, blocking things like this house, this other house, and one of the 2 gyms? Yes, quite a bit misleading that this is the Fighting Dojo, a gym unaffiliated with the Pokemon League. I'm wondering where the cease and desist letters are in this place. Making quick work of them does not gift you a badge, but rather a Hitmon, and you get your choice of Lee or Chan. But that doesn't solve the problem of this rocket guy in the way, and these goons really stick out like sore thumbs. They're clearly dressed like they're looking for trouble. Where are the police? Nah, it seems like those fine folks in Japan want us to go into this tall, scary building. And oh my, it is scary. Do you hear that music? That is not Everything Is Okay music. This is Silphco. It's where the Sylphs go. A seemingly normal office building that has now been taken over with evil goons and evil supporting characters. Even innocent civilians who work there are unsure what to do. I'd say go home, but people have to be simps to the corporate game, I suppose. This chapter of the game was a doozy for me as a kid. It's an 11-story building, and the place is filled with warp tiles and these trapdoors that can only be opened with a card key. I do not lie, I was stuck here for days. Knowing that there was an 11th floor was such a tease. You can see there's an important businessman there, along with a lady of business, but seemingly no way in. Obviously something important is happening there. I just remember mindlessly walking along all the warp tiles, beating every opponent, hoping to get some hint about where this card key is so I could progress in the game. I really thought I exhausted all my options and I'd have to give up Pokemon and go play outside or something. And all you had to do was find your way back onto this tile so you could walk in the other direction and retrieve card key. My goodness, this was a pain in the neck. This felt so much better, and it felt so much better that the fact that my rival was waiting for me didn't even bother me. Never mind that there's a hostile terrorist takeover of this corporation, but let's make sure you get your quarterly whooping in. And I will give credit where it's due. He's putting up a fight. I mean, this is an infamous rival battle. If you follow a certain cool channel that has Kadabra as his mascot, you will know this as... He might have it copyrighted by now. I don't know. J Rose 11, you're awesome. If you haven't been watching this, hey, thanks for everything you do. Bye. We find out that Widemouth Giovanni is behind this, and I don't know about you, but I get the feeling this guy's up to something. What do you all think? Well, as always in Pokemon, child beats adult, and yes, this was a bit intimidating. Like, something is seriously going down here. I mean, really, think about it. You're a kid, and you're walking in on this crime syndicate negotiating with this business, and they mean business, and you're a child, and again, where are the cops? And we're given the Master Ball for saving the day. That's it. Look, I know the Master Ball is a ball that can catch a Pokemon without fail, but yo, I just saved your lives. How about some money? How about job security for the future or something like that? The adult version of me would have loved to negotiate for much more. It'd be ashamed if I left with that hard drive, wouldn't it, Mr. Sylph? Seafoam Islands. I love this area because it featured a lot of neat water Pokemon. I love water Pokemon, but I'm not so crazy about the fact that they show up so late in the game. I already have Mike, and what do I look like, a gym leader trying to run with one single type? If you guys want to see me do that, then let me know. But Seafoam Islands holds a special place in my heart because it introduced me to my all-time favorite Pokemon.
Who's that Pokemon?
See, the currents here are heavy, so you get pushed around and you have to complete this boulder puzzle so that you can properly surf to this platform where a younger version of me thought that this was Pidgey because of the generic bird overworld sprite. And then I would go toe to claw with Articuno. I seem to remember just chucking the Master Ball at it because I was so caught off guard. And the prize is sheer beauty, sheer grace, sheer ice, sheer level 50? Okay, I'll take that, thank you. And even more grand, you can now surf to Mystery Building by Rock Tunnel, the power plant, and catch Super Electric Bird Zapdos. Be the talk of the region with your 2 super birds. The next gym will be Cinnabar Island. If a certain chain purveyor of sweets sponsored me, I would totally name drop them by accident here. But they don't, so they can go fart in bed. And well, this is nice. The door to the Cinnabar gym is locked. Now, we all know by this point where the key is. Younger me had not the slightest clue. Again, Game Freak wanted you to go somewhere else, and so our talents go to the vaguely large building on the left. This is the Pokemon Mansion. Oh, excuse me. I mean the Pikmin Mansion. Silly me for using vowels. And boy, once again, let's usher in some Everything Is Not Okay music. Someone left their diary all over the place, and it's interesting that real-world places like Guyana are referenced here. By the way, I always thought that the scientist sprite had cow udders. I guess that's just his shirt blowing beneath his beanbags. There's references to Mewtwo, which I've heard about in the movies, but what's the point of all this building? I mean, it's got me out here pressing ride-ons, and a secret key. I wonder if it opens... It does. It does. It opens the gym. Now, can someone in the comments tell me, was there any hint anywhere that the key to the gym was in that mansion? I don't recall any NPC that said, "The gym is locked? I think I saw a key on the floor in that building over there." And also, what kind of cockamamie system is going on here with the gyms? This one is locked, the one in Viridian doesn't have a leader present apparently, and did all other prospective challengers have to go through this? Also, Blaine sucks. I mean, I like Blaine as a character, but he blows. The fire gym leader, on an island surrounded by water.
How redundant. Thank you.
Requiring a water-powered HM to get to, which in most cases require a water Pokemon to use. Oh, sorry. Oh, this still triggers me. So Blaine has these quizzes that you could have answered. If you answered them all correctly, you could have avoided battling the gym trainers themselves. Does Caterpie evolve into Butterfree? We know what the answer is in the game. What is the... I said no, it evolves to Metapod, and I was told I was wrong. Great. Ha! Better have Burn Heal. Better have the Future's Now Old Man Heal. Anyway, Sabrina is a gym that loves to waste your time with its many teleportation tiles. I would think locally sourced made by Self Company, right? Eventually I figured out that if I just walked vertical from each tile that I landed on, I would eventually get to Sabrina, who carries a whip. Okay, this is some freaky stuff. And thank you, Anime, for lying to us that Ghost Pokemon will do the trick here.
Ghost Pokemon are strong against Psychic Pokemon, right?
Silly me for thinking the related franchise series would, be helpful here. Sabrina was tough, and nowadays with an adult brain and a better understanding of how the stats work, she's not that difficult. It's just, there was nothing that was super effective against Psychic. You just kind of had to go in there with your biggest, bulkiest, tushy-kickingest team. Oh, and the ability to shift Pokemon in between helps. If you did shift mode, yeah, this game was a lot easier. Now I have a great appreciation for the stats and the strategies and everything else, but in the past I just kind of went off of, which evolutionary stage is it versus my opponent and how many levels higher am I? Beating Sabrina felt like such a big win. In retrospect, which is what I've been doing this whole time, right? Sabrina almost felt like an Elite Four win. I think this is the toughest gym leader in Gen 1. Yeah, we're talking Gen 1 mechanics. Because Gen 3, you had dark Pokemon come in and dark moves, things like that. For those of you with pre-existing knowledge of the game, you may know exactly what I'm talking about, because Gym 8 is Gym Great. Oh, I wonder who the gym leader is. Maybe she'll be hot. Maybe she'll be Giovanni! I love how the gym guide isn't even aware who the gym leader is. You'd think he would have read the ride-on beside him. But first, let's do what every light-gauge whippersnapper thought could really happen back in the day. Oh, no way it worked! Nah, I tricked all of you. That was the trainer fly glitch. But boy, did we all really have a glimmer of hope that we'd catch the elusive Mew right there, right? And find yourself someone who loves you like Team Rocket and Giovanni love spinny tiles. You know the challenge is bumped up when the gym trainers have multiple trainer classes of whip bearers. I hope that's for cream and then there's an ice cream bar somewhere in this gym. That'd be a nice surprise. Nope, instead it's Mr. Widemouth, ready for the ultimate battle. And I'm actually kind of downplaying this a bit. This was a big deal as a kid. Oh my gosh, the whole time the mystery gym leader has been this bad guy? And once again, a gym leader with a typing that's weak to the typing that has a beast HM in order to get to this point. Also, what's interesting is, why isn't he carrying his best Pokemon throughout the story? I get it, it's just a game and it was made for children, but why is gym leader number 8, which I imagine must have some impact on their salary and influence, walking with a half party of sub-level 30 Pokemon? This guy's hot buns. So he loses to you thrice. I need to do a video on questioning the logic and bylaws of being a gym leader, because for this guy to lose to you thrice is well deserving of stripping gym leader powers. Oh, and the whole corruption and illegal shady business dealings. I remember the first time playing this, if you speak to Giovanni after defeating him, he goes away. Like, he fades away, he dissolves. And I thought I broke the game or something. I felt bad, so ever since then, I don't do that. I don't know why I feel bad. He sucks. So we did it. We've caught all 8 badges. We are now eligible to face the Pokemon League. It's now time to show those badge checkers who's the badge checkers around here. They are. I now have all 8. The only thing that could stop me at this point would be an unannounced rival battle. Yes, it is this guy that has ingrained this in my head as a Pokemon trainer. Always heal. You youngins got it good with those. Here, let me heal your Pokemon and rub your feet before rival battles. And something about this battle right here felt like the battle. As is with every major rival fight in this game, -1, you have to beat this butt in order to advance in the story. But something felt different about this one. You have 8 badges, and the rival doesn't care. In this case, in this particular run, you have 2 legendary birds on your team. He doesn't care. You are taking out his sister for Thai food on Wednesday. He doesn't care. Why is he such a butt? But I mean, he motivates you to do better, even though he'll never admit that. You're nice. Yeah, walk back in the direction you came from. That brings us to the point of big time flex nuts, showing our badges along the Victory Road and the Victory Ocean. Who designed this? Oh, there's wild Pokemon here? What was the development meeting for this? All these steps to have to check all these badges. It did build up the hype though, I will say that. Oh, and if that wasn't enough for you, here's a whole cave with big level Pokemon, some boulder puzzles, and tough trainers to give you enough time to think, hey, yeah, you're really ready for the Elite Four? They're called the Elite Four for a reason and not just the 4. And if 2 legendary birds were enough for you, how about a 3rd one? I like how Moltres is just a few yards away from this NPC and he didn't even bother to go check it out. It's just right over there. This section felt endless as a kid, and I noticed I felt that a lot with caves and dungeons. I was just so eager to take on the E4, and I got tired of being bombarded with wild mons and trainers. But if you left with your life and Moltres, I suppose that was a pretty good prize. Also, here's one last FU maze before you go into the Indigo Plateau. The kids will love it! Here we go. All or nothing. The Elite Four is Elite More, meaning more battles in succession with no break, no healing, no bathroom. Actually, wait, you do get a break, but yeah, no healing, no bathroom, just straight gauntlet. How unsettling it was to attempt to go back and only to be auto-turned around. Loralee is the Ice Queen, and you can tell she loves to read books. It always seemed to be a stretch to be the Ice user because, well, she's really deluxe Misty with all these water users and then some dual Ice type users. And yes, I know I'm using the birds in this footage, okay? Do you really think I have the screen captured footage from when I played this when I was 6? Just let me have some fun. It was at this point I realized I had no safety net of the Pokemon Center and had to use potions, revives, and I don't even think I knew what the ethers and elixirs did as a kid. She might have powerful ice moves, but you have powerful nice moves. One battle is in the books. Now in sports, you might be familiar with the tournament concept of a first round bye, but did you know in the Elite Four there's a second round bye? Yes, it's called Bruno. As in, there's Bruno way to lose this battle unless you brought a level 3 Pidgey to this battle. Well, actually, if you did, how'd you advance past Loralee? Boy, it's going to be tough being this guy without 2 dominant super effective attacks to defeat his typings. Oh wait, that's right. I needed a surfer and a flyer to navigate this game. You technically don't need a flyer, yes, but come on. Having a flyer made life so much easier. HMs were pretty butt juice. At least surf and fly were more than serviceable. Would you look at that? Bruno is beaten. Wow, what a high vibe person this must be. Your office is just riddled with graves. And apparently, one must be waiting for her. And I just remember her being a pain in the butt. Whoa! Withdrawing Pokemon! I can see why she's earned her spot here in the E4. She's the master of Confuse Ray. And Pokemon hitting themselves in confusion to this day, I think is still, like, one of the things that really drives me mad. What's worse, sleep or confusion? And I'm sorry, I thought this was the ghost lady, not Koga's mom. Wait, is it Koga's mom? I mean, the coincidences are there. She's old, he's younger, they both play Pokemon. Nonetheless, through the power of believing in yourself, you too can master Agatha and be 1 gemstone away from winning the Elite Four. Alright, there's one more left. You've made it this far. You can tell the Lance battle is the most serious one. I mean, when you enter his chambers, you don't even control your character for a bunch of steps, and then they seal you in shut. What a nice touch. Sorry. And boy, I remember getting stonewalled hard here because it felt like Dragon resisted everything except, hello, my pretty. Aren't you the little helper here? Ice beam, get your ice beam. Otherwise, enjoy your starters being hot buns butt juice against these guys, except Blastoise, who you taught ice beam. And then comes the part that I think I nearly threw the Game Boy as a kid, but I didn't because that's just disrespectful to so many different parties. This cockamamie Lance fella is telling me that, hey, you know how it's been called the Elite Four, but how would you feel if we just implemented so this is now the Elite Five? Because this butt cheeks fella has been a couple steps ahead of you. He is now the champion, and now you have to battle him. But don't worry, we're not going to heal your Pokemon. I definitely lost the first time I faced the champion. I just wasn't ready. Didn't have enough items. Wasn't expecting to have to face a 5th trainer, which meant all that work was for naught. The rule stated winning 4 straight battles, but LOL, JK, let's make it 5. I was pissed that Pokemon would betray me like this. What's next? All those people giving testimonies in television commercials are paid actors? But at the final battle, boy, this raised the blood pressure. This is the only battle you'll hear this music. If you had turned off battle animations in the beginning, too bad. You're going to sit through them, Pipsqueak. It's that serious. And my word, this guy is definitely a fan of Anita Baker because he's giving you the best that he's got. Baby! A balanced team, all dependent on your starter, and I don't know about you, but didn't it feel like getting to level 65 would take a small century to achieve single game speed on Game Boy? And looking back, I think I cheesed this pretty hard by honestly using items in battle, reviving Pokemon on the bench while someone just stalled, and winning. Look, a dub is a dub, but yes, could you imagine your opponents in this game using revives? Whatever, a win is a win, and sweet justice prevailed. I was now the champion, and butt sat in defeat. Even his can't do wrong in his eyes grandpa comes in and explains how he did wrong. He didn't love his Pokemon enough. He didn't believe in the power of friendship, rainbows, and marshmallows, and that's obviously what got us through the game. We did it. We've made it to the Hall of Fame, forever immortalized as the champion. Working hard with the Pokemon that we had all the way from the start, except I just caught all 3 legendary birds and pancaked those clowns. Like, seriously, they had to have a discussion afterward, like, did that kid just walk in here with 3 legendaries? Yes, I did. I waltzed, tangoed, and did the Lindy Hop on your legs. I achieved to be the very best, like no one ever was. Well, in this case, I was just as good as Butt for, what was it, like 15 minutes? He actually got to enjoy his champion? That sucks. Maybe you should have tried being nicer to me. I actually would have felt bad for you. This game brought me so much joy as a child. Was it perfect? No, absolutely not. Was it the best generation of Pokemon? No, absolutely not. I can't believe I was a real Gen 1er at one point in my life thinking, 151 is enough! Or 251 is enough. That's laughable. Competitive Pokemon would be so garbage now if 30 years later we still had 1 line of ghosts and 1 line of dragons and no steel typing or dark typing. Okay, the mechanics were flawed. You couldn't delete HMs. You got no description of moves. Some moves didn't even function properly, like Focus Energy. It was a cluster mess. But it's the generation that started it all. It's the generation that allowed players to learn the basic fundamentals of the franchise, and you can't spell fundamentals without the mentals. As an adult, yes, many of the game's bugs and quirks infuriate me, but we didn't know better at the time. All I knew is that Pokemon was and still is amazing, and I'd rather play Gen 1 than go clothes shopping any day of the week. That sounds like an opportunity for a future sponsor, by the way. A lot has changed in the past 30 years when it comes to those fuzzy battle dogs. I'm grateful for those humble beginnings and for the opportunity to talk about this game many years later on a video sharing platform with strangers. Oh joy. Oh wait, this is cool. I caught this Mewtwo on the first ball. That's neat. If you like this video, then like it. Only seems fair. Share your thoughts with other strangers on the internet by leaving a comment. And thank you for watching. I might make another one of these, so subscribe. Toodles.